You know, we all have times like this in our life, right, where we believe God is leading us to do something, but because of our past, because of our insecurities or inexperiences, we feel unqualified or inadequate. It could be, right, it doesn't have to be Afghanistan, it could be anything. It could be parenting, right? You feel like, man, I'm just not being the parent that I could be. Maybe a relationship, whether it's with a sibling or a parent or a child or your marriage. You feel like you just don't have quite what it takes. Or maybe God's calling you for service to your community or to this church or to a church. Or in a job, you feel called to do a job, but you just feel like you don't quite have what it takes. Look, whether it's lack of obedience to God or just not taking action in life, that's typically based out of fear. You know, in the Bible, do not fear in some form or another is mentioned 365 times, one for every day of the year, because we need it, right? Do not fear 365 times. That fear that we have, that fear that we put in ourselves is because we put our trust in the wrong places. Mainly, we put our trust in ourselves. And when we put our trust in ourselves, we immediately will feel inadequate and insecure. Why? Because we know ourselves, right? We know how flawed we are. We know our strengths, but we also know our weaknesses. We know what we can and cannot do. But God knows that even more than we know it ourselves, right? God knows our weaknesses. He knows our capabilities. He knows it more than we do ourselves. The Bible says in Luke 12:7 that he actually knows the numbers of hairs on our head, which makes me feel really good because he means he's constantly with me, because the number of hairs on my head tend to change like every minute. Right? You know, he knows us. God knows us. He knows where we're weak, but he calls us anyway because he knows we can't do it on our own.